Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. And was New York 26 a referendum on Medicare, or was it, as the candidate herself said, a referendum also on whether or not taxes should be raised on millionaires and billionaires? And if the latter, as much as the former, and she asserted that last night explicitly on MSNBC on Rachel Maddow's show, Kathy Hochul came out and said, this was as much about my saying that I want to raise taxes on people making more than $500,000 a year as it was about Medicare. And people came up to me and they said, I'm with you on this, and the billionaires shouldn't be paying. And I'm not hearing a word about this in the corporate media, be it conservative or progressive. I'm not hearing a word about it in the media that is owned by millionaires and billionaires. And I find that really, really interesting. Cliff Schecter, progressive PR consultant, contributor to Huffington Post and Al Jazeera English, author of the book The Real McCain, his website, libertasllc.com. Cliff, welcome back.
Thanks, Tom. How are you, buddy?
I am great, but I'll get better, Cliff. I hope the same is true for you.
Absolutely. Why not?
So what's the deal here? Is this a bellwether election? We have Paul Ryan. Well, in fact, here's Paul Ryan on Fox this morning. I'm sure you saw this, but let me play it so you can bounce off it.
What's happening here is, first of all, you had a Democrat running as a Tea Party, spending a couple $1 million of his own money. That obviously made this a difficult race.
Sure. Yeah, exactly right. So going forward, Congressman, is this is what happened yesterday in New York's 26th district? Is that just a preview of coming attractions?
Mm-hmm. It is. It's a preview of scare tactics, distortions, demagoguery to try and scare seniors to voting for them. And the irony of it is we're the ones who are actually protecting Medicare, current benefits for current seniors.
Now, there's two things that popped out of me on this. First of all, he points out that Jack Davis, the guy who ran as a Tea Party candidate, used to be a Democrat. And secondly, he says, we're protecting current benefits for current seniors. In other words, when you become grandma, you're screwed.
Yeah, I like all the sort of qualifications. We're protecting current benefits for current seniors with red hair who stand on one foot when the moon is out. I mean, once you start adding enough qualifications to who they're protect, there'll be like three people. Obviously, that's not true at all. And I also, of course, enjoyed the throwing out of the demagoguery and everything going to the left. Meanwhile, the right, of course, that's all they've been doing is talking about how Medicare is going to bankrupt us and destroy us. And you know what? The people listen to what they had to say, listen to what Kathy Hochul and Democrats had to say who've spoken up on this, and look who they came down with. I want to say one important thing when they try to pin this whole thing on Jack Davis, the Tea Party millionaire. This is a district that was won by the Republican side. I think was 74% in 2008. Okay. Right. So we're not talking about a district, here that was close to begin with. So take all of Jack Davis's votes and give them to the Republican there, and what do you get? 51, 52%. For them to not look at the fact that they lost a quarter of the electorate, even assuming every Jack Davis vote was theirs, just shows that obviously they don't really want to know what the answer is here.
Well, or they don't want to admit it. I mean, for the Republicans to come out and say, yes, this shows that Paul Ryan is crazy, that Ayn Rand is crazy. Ayn Rand based her whole philosophy on William Edward Hickman, a mass murderer who she referred to as a Superman. He was the role model for her hero in The Fountainhead, and she made no bones about it. She was quite proud of it, that her, the sociopaths are heroes in her world. And this is sociopathic to say we don't care about anybody else. But, if everybody acts in their own self-interest in the most selfish way possible, you'll have the ultimate paradisical world, or however you pronounce it, paradise. And it's nonsense.
No, of course it is, and that's exactly right. I mean, I often make the joke, because I get to do this because I have two young kids, about kids being sociopaths, because little children are lovely often, and they're wonderful, and I love my kids, but there's just certain parts of them that haven't developed yet to understanding sometimes when you need to have compassion for someone else who takes your train away from you, and a variety of things. And so we often hear...
But when push comes to shove, even kids get it. I mean, even pre-verbal babies are capable of showing empathy. In fact, there's some really interesting research that was done back in the 60s at Michigan State University, where they found that pre-verbal babies when they saw acts of violence, actually winced and felt empathy for the person who was the victim.
Well, then you make the best point of all, which is so children are actually beyond Republicans. I mean,
pre-verbal children are.
They've already reached a higher phase of development. I mean, these guys, their plan just is simply going to hurt people. It's pure greed. I mean, you can't say enough bad things about it, and they're now trying to play this off like this is something that's going to help people or help anybody. It's a joke. It should be called for what it is. They should be called liars. They should, and
so here's
be called fraudulent, which is what Paul Krugman's called this budget.
Yeah. Well, here's the $64,000 question, Cliff. Michael Moore yesterday on The Last Word, Lawrence O'Donnell's show on MSNBC, had this to say.
If you walk into the room and they say taxes are off the table, you gently say to them, we'll come back when you take your tinfoil hats off. And when you hear some Democrats say, yes, everything's on the table. Social Security, Medicare. No, everything isn't on the table. It's like if you were rewriting the criminal code, you wouldn't say everything's on the table. Stealing, murder, child abuse, it's all on the table. No, some things are not on the table.
So, Steny Hoyer is on the record as saying Medicare and Social Security are on the table. Is he going to start doing the moonwalk?
I hope so. It just drives me crazy. I mean, again, you're so right about this. I talked about this, I think, on your show before. Republicans lose because they overreach. We're talking about the Paul Ryan budget. We can talk about Scott Walker, John Kasich, who is slightly more popular than Scurvy at this point, although I'm not sure. Rick Scott, I'm sitting down in Florida right now where he's got a 29%, I think, approval rating. These guys all overreach the way they do. But when they do that, and we have an election like we just had in New York 26, and then you hear President Obama not even mention the word Medicare, and you see Steny Hoyer immediately say, oh, we'll sit down and we'll talk to them. No, we won't sit down and talk to them. They're wrong about this. They're wrong morally. They're wrong mathematically. And frankly, they're wrong politically because you show the biggest difference possible. We will save Medicare. They will destroy it. Now voters choose. And it's just that simple. It should be that simple.
Well, and that's what the progressives are saying. This is what Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky had. Do we have time to play this clip, Jacob? Yeah, okay. Here's Jan Schakowsky. This is she's in the Progressive Caucus,
right.
And as you know, in the House of Representatives, and does such a brilliant job of representing Illinois. Here she is.
Well, here was our plan to save Medicare. We're going to cut subsidies to the insurance companies. We were actually able to increase benefits while trimming Medicare. But nevertheless, on television, those ads warning against those Democrats who didn't cut one thing from Medicare and improved it. And now you're saying, well, we're not going to do anything to people 55 and under. To me, that sounds like 55 and under, you better look out. All but 4 Republicans voted to literally end Medicare. You can call it something else, but you can't call it Medicare because those guaranteed benefits are gone.
And Medicare, of course, the program that Lyndon Johnson started. So in the half a minute we have left here, Cliff, how do we help the Democrats stay on message and not buckle?
We have to do it. I mean, it has to be people with huge radio audiences like you. It has to be those of us that go out and write for the Huffington Post and write for different publications. We can't let them compromise on this. We need to let them know how important this is to their base, or their base might just not be there for them.
Yeah, and it's not just it's not just you and me as people who are the media. Yeah, frankly, I think it's every single person who is listening or watching or reading, our work.
Call them, write them.
Yeah, right. Contact, and don't just call, call your member of the House of Representatives, call your 2 senators, call the White House, and then show up at the local Democratic Party meeting and raise hell.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cliff Schecter. I'm glad we are of one mind. LibertasLLC.com. Thanks, Cliff.